Hi, this is Kory, and this is my first video on YouTube, and I will be doing album reviews, mainly for metal bands. I might do some non-metal albums, but at this moment I really doubt it. Today, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite bands of all time, Trivium. A lot of people don't like Trivium, and that's because they're dumbasses. Now I'm doing their entire catalog, which at the moment is 4 albums, 4 studio albums. And I'm doing all 4 of them at once, while they're not new by any means. They are currently working on a new album, so I'd like to be completely up to date once they release it, pretty early next year. First album, if you're a Trivium fan, you probably know, Ember to Inferno, or as I like to call it, the greatest album that In Flames never wrote.
Hey pal.
It's Matt. I'm in his basement right now recording this. Now, Ember to Inferno, they were, at the time it was Matt Heafy, the singer slash guitarist, Travis Smith on drums, and Brent Young on bass. There were only 3 members. So Matt Heafy wrote all the songs and recorded the rhythm guitar, the harmonies, and the solos himself. And Travis Smith did drums, Brent Young did bass. It was the last album and the first album that Brent Young did with them. Pretty good bass player. He hasn't done anything since, I don't think. I've got the special edition reissue here. It comes with the original songs on the album, as well as 3 bonus tracks. View of Burning Empires, Blinding Tears, Break the Sky. No, those are already on there. The Deceive and Blinding Tears Will Break the Skies, and the song Demon from their 2003 demo. Those are the bonus tracks on here. It's basically a melodic death metal album. A lot of people called them metalcore for reasons I don't really know. I would define metalcore as melodic death metal with hardcore breakdowns, and there are, of course, breakdowns in Trivium songs, but they're not metalcore or hardcore breakdowns by any means. I think it's mainly just people categorizing music that screams and sings as metalcore when melodic death metal was doing it years before that. But mainly, this is a good album, but for someone who's just starting out listening to Trivium, probably wouldn't recommend it. Most people got into Trivium when they recorded their second album, Ascendancy. That was on Roadrunner Records. Ember to Inferno was on Life Force, German imprint, which Life Force was good to them and everything, but Roadrunner, as most metal fans know, is the biggest heavy metal label in the world. Ascendancy is really when they started to not really blow up, but they were more recognized in the music scene. I believe this got in the top 10 in the UK. I don't know if it charted in the States, but Trivium are a lot more popular in the UK than they are in the States. I've got the regular first print here. I'm hoping to get the special edition for Christmas. It starts out with the piano intro, the end of everything. Then it goes into Rain, one of their more popular songs, also one of their fastest. Singles from this album were Pull Harder, On the Strings of Your Martyr, A Gunshot to the Head of Trepidation, Like Light to Flies, Dying in Your Arms, and The Deceived could have been, I'm not sure, I don't think it was, but there isn't a single track on this album that I wouldn't recommend to someone who hasn't heard Trivium before. It's a really great album to get someone started out. This album is one of their weirder ones because I would still classify it as melodic death metal, but it was when they started to get a lot of their thrash influence into it. It's not so much In Flames as the main influence as it is Machine Head with the chord riffs, just regular chord progression riffs, and the singing. Pull Harder, I believe. Yeah, Pull Harder is referred to as the members of the band as the Machine Head song. Rob Flynn has performed it with them live on quite a few occasions. He really likes Trivium. A lot of really big metal bands are fans of Trivium. That's Matt. He's a fag. He doesn't like Trivium. It was produced by Jason Suikoff. He also did a lot of guest solos, as he's wont to do on albums he produces. He's an amazing guitar player. Also crippled. Not really relevant, but fun fact.
Do some humor in it. Mix it up. Get saucy.
And he is one of my favorite metal producers because he's really got a way of making a band more so what they already are, if that makes any sense. He doesn't really influence their sound. He produces lots and lots of different kinds of bands. He just did an album with Whitechapel. He also does albums with As I Lay Dying, which if you know anything about Tim Lambesis, he doesn't give up the reins as a producer really easily. So it's a pretty big feat to produce an As I Lay Dying album. But this, definitely their most popular album, and I'd say it's one of my top albums of all time. It's crazy. There's lots of really heavy subject matter, and it's just an essential part of any Trivium fan's collection.